how's it going? I'm really tired and I have to drive home after trivia, so I figured that this would be a good time as any for me to record a little bit, because talking helps me stay awake. I mean, I'm not going to like fall asleep at the wheel or anything, but you know, it just helps. And also, I'm in a fucking mood and I need to fucking complain about it. Spoiler alert, there's gonna be a lot of the fuck word in here. The fuck word. Wow, clearly I am tired. So, I have dealt with like 7 or 8 instances today of this issue, and many times over the past like couple of months. I feel like it's been getting really bad. So we need to have a fucking talk about these Instagram companies who say they're looking for models and they're looking for promoters and they want to collaborate and blah 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 blah. Look, every single one of these companies that has contacted me has basically been like, oh yeah, so we'll give you a coupon code for 20 to 40% off. You have to purchase something, then you review, and then if somebody buys with your specific code that you get from being a promoter, you will get a commission of like 10 to 20% tops. So here's the thing, that's bullshit. And every single one of these companies should feel fucking horrible about doing this, because it is predatory. And everybody who, like, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. So, like, back in my day, being an actual promotional model is supposed to be a job. Like, if you have cultivated a social media following and people trust you and they trust your opinion, like, companies, if they're going to take the time to reach out to you about promoting their product, number one, the company themselves should be doing, oh, somebody's in trouble. The company themselves should be doing the research in order to find out like what social media influencers are going to be a good fit. And also you need to be looking at ones, or they need to be looking at ones that have a high enough, it's not necessarily a high enough like count, but it's a high enough engagement to actually make that partnership worth it for them. So it's not just a bunch of people with like only 1,000 followers. And again, 1,000 followers is nothing to sneeze at. Don't get me wrong. This isn't shade for that, but I'm just saying, like, as far as promotions go, like, I only have like 3,000 some change on Instagram. Like, I am fucking nobody. Like, not, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, damn it. So I don't know when exactly it happened, but there was this shift on the individual side of things, not necessarily on the companies, but people started becoming more and more obsessed with this concept of being Instagram famous. And I'm not saying they're selling out for it, but it's kind of like doing this whole promotional modeling nonsense that isn't actually how it's supposed to work. They think it's going to fast track them into becoming like the next Instagram model, like the next huge one of like hundreds of thousands of followers. Number one, when you get those hundreds of thousands of followers, what are you going to do with it? Like, what is your plan after that point? And number two, like, what... I mean, there's just so many number two questions that I can go with after that point. Like, what are you going to do with all of those followers? And then how... It's not an actual partnership in any sense if you are paying them for the potential to make more money down the line. Like, the only thing that it's missing from a pyramid scheme is you roping in other people. Like, it's so predatory. The thing that really fucking pissed me off today, like, I've been dealing with this for ages and I always do the same thing. It's DM or email me, specifically email me if you want to do promotional work. I've never received a single email. Like, not one from a single one of these companies. I've received emails, obviously, but not from them to do these promotions. So it's like, I wonder what you were actually looking for. Oh no, it wasn't from it. Like, you weren't looking for someone to help you advertise. You were looking for someone else who was gullible enough to spend money, and then the return on investment, like, you spent nothing. Like, you're still paying them way more, like, they're still like outside of their profit margin. Like, they're making money off of you, and then they're giving you such a tiny cut that, like, they're just making more money off of you. Like, what do you get from this other than the potential of maybe a tiny commission? We're talking like literally pennies on the dollar. Or like, all you're getting is potential Instagram reach from them posting your photo and maybe tagging you, which they don't actually have to do that either. So this used to be an actual career, like, not a career necessarily in and of itself, because social media wasn't the way that it was back then, but this was part of, like, this was part of my job. This was how, like, I used to be sponsored by a couple of different, like, actual, like, pre-made cosplay companies, like, Cosplay Sky and stuff like that. And not saying that they don't do that anymore, because I believe that they do, but they've grown so much that they just don't use somebody of my numbers anymore, which is completely fair. That's how it's supposed to work. And I don't know, I could just, like, rant on this forever. But, like, it used to be to where, like, they would send, they being any company, would send someone that they truly believed would bring in the proper exposure, I guess you could say. Like, I have the audience that you were wanting to advertise to. Therefore, you give me product that I would actually very much like to have for, like, that would cost you less than $100 in order to give it to me. And then I promote your product, and you can give me a commission, because, yeah, that's how we actually make money. And you make money hand over fist, because, like, for example, every single video that I made directly led to, like, between 5 to 10 individual product sales. So, like, that's how it used to work. It was, you got the product for free, you made the post, you brought in the business, and depending on your level, depending on the agreement, like, whatever, you should be getting money for it, because you are the one that is doing the legwork on the advertising. But even if you didn't, like, it still makes way more sense to do it that way than it does to, hey, buy this at a okay enough discount, and then promote it for a chance to make a commission. Like, no, I'm not paying you when you want me to promote your stuff. Like, how does that not seem so fucking backwards to them? The one that, like, really set me off today was, I have been in a horrible mental place for over a week now. Well over a week now. Like, it's just a really hard downswing. So I made a post with Miko, talking about how she's my support animal, I have depression, it's been shit, blah blah blah, and this fucking company, I think it's called, like, Whitestone Yoga, I think, or White Rock Yoga, one of the two. I even posted, like, I put them on blast because I was so pissed off about it. But they messaged me, like, talking about, like, an actual collaboration, and it actually sounded legit at first, but no. They fucking wanted me to pay, like, less than a 20% discount to be able to help people, because 10% of their proceeds goes to the American Red Cross. Number one, I see no proof of that anywhere. Number two, the way that they frame it, you know exactly what hashtags they were trolling in order to find people to do this. They have no fucking qualms. Like, clearly they don't believe in fucking karma, like, you know, if you're a yoga company and they're like trying to do blah blah blah, positivity, blah blah blah, good vibes only, you should believe in karma. Because like, so they were trolling the hashtags about like mental illness and depression and things like that. That's what they were looking for. They were specifically looking for woke people who have connections to mental illnesses, like, and who have mental illnesses, in order to take advantage of them, to make them pay to scam them, to be a model or a promoter because they're going to help people. I have never been this angry before, and I just can't believe the fucking audacity. Like, I mean, even all of the stuff about like how it used to be and how this works as a income and thing, and all of that aside, like, that's just like unacceptable. Like, even if this was always how it worked, you are taking advantage of a community that is, I don't want to say that we're like some like delicate like walk on eggshells around us, like blah 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 blah, but you're taking advantage of some marginalized people, and they should be fucking ashamed of themselves, and they should be shut down, and they should be sued. Like, you don't fucking do that. And I just don't know really what I can do about it except for put people on blast. There was one about sunflowers. I'm literally just going to keep a fucking running list of these companies who are trying to swindle people out of money and trying to take advantage of people who either like want to do good or who just don't understand how the internet works. And I know that I have a better understanding of things because, number one, I've been around for a hot minute, and number two, like, I do this professionally. Like, I work in marketing, I work in PR, like, I work in social media and content creation. Like, this is my job. Number one, don't fucking, like, when I tell you, like, hey, this is my career, I'm not paying you, don't try to, like, convince me that, oh, this is different. No, it's not. You're just a money-hungry piece of shit. Like, I am just so angry. And I'm just hurt because it's somebody literally intentionally went through the hashtags related to depression and targeted me because I have a mental illness, and they thought that I would be an easy target. So I cannot come to terms with that. Like, I cannot forgive this, and I'm just, there may be bigger fish to fry, but fuck that, this, oh, I'm so mad. So I'm gonna make a running list. I'll probably make a Google Doc or something so that other people can contribute to it too, but of just like these scammy, horrible companies that should really be shut down. I'm gonna put them on blast. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, my social media has been stagnant, my personal one has been stagnant for such a long time that, like, I'm not even really concerned about, like, trashing myself in the process, like, but it's just unfucking acceptable, and I'm sick of it. And if I can protect one more person, and let's be real, one more girl, usually, from being taken advantage of, like, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm just so mad. Alright. Not gonna edit this because every time I go to edit something, it just sits on my phone for 5 million hours and I never end up posting it. So I'm gonna get home, stick my intro on this, upload, just hit the button and go to sleep. So thank you for listening to me angrily bitch for 15 minutes straight. I know I talked in circles there for a little bit, so sorry about that, but I'm sure that you guys understand, like, why I'm so angry, and the fact that I need to stay awake a little bit, and that definitely did the trick. I'm still tired, though. There we go. Yeah. So, love you guys. Have a super good night, super good week, super good whatever until I talk to you next. And have a super good Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And stick it to the man, especially if the man is a predatory Instagram company. Okay, love you. Bye.